With so many unadapted Super Sentai seasons out there that Power Rangers could adapt, imagine how cool a QRanger adaptation would have been. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here, welcome back to another video, and today I will be talking about a possible QRanger adaptation that really never happened, but it still would be cool to have it. Basically, what could have been. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell for the best Power Rangers content out there. I love you guys so much. A small percentage of you is actually subscribed though, so subscribe today. You can always unsubscribe later. Let's get right to the video. Now, if you don't know what QRanger is, Uchu Sentai Kyuranger is the 41st Sentai of the Super Sentai series and ran from February 2017 to February 2018. It has a space theme with the Rangers themed after constellations, and their arsenals also based on stars and planets. The show was also aired in South Korea as Power Rangers Galaxy Force, but has yet to receive a Power Rangers adaptation, and who knows if it ever will. Bandai America, the old toy maker for Power Rangers, was actually involved in the development of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, according to former Senior Director of Marketing, Greg Mitchell. The fans saw this as a chance that Saban Brands will most likely skip Dobutsu Sentai Ryusoulger, which was the current Sentai and the next Sentai in line to adapt, in favor of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger as the next Power Rangers show to air after the current running show Power Rangers Ninja Steel. But, as we know, Hasbro bought the brand and made Power Rangers Beast Morphers and later on Dino Fury with no plans for a QRanger adaptation. So, at the end of the day, what would a QRanger adaptation look like? You know, if it was actually a real thing? Well, we kind of have an idea now. In episode 22 of TokuSHOUTsu's Let's Talk Toku starring fellow YouTuber Squall Charlson, he had a chat with Jason Bischoff. Now, if you don't know who Jason Bischoff is, he's such a great man. I met him at Power Morphicon a few years ago. Great man. He is the director of global consumer products at Saban, and he was also the director of global franchise over at Hasbro. And among his many tasks, he drove accountability and collaboration with the show's producers on story development, script development, character design, short-form content, music composition, art, and many, many more. He also established the creative franchise vision of the whole Power Rangers series. Now, in this episode of Let's Talk Toku, Jason talked to Squall about his idea on how a QRanger adaptation would be, at least his idea of it. What I'm about to tell you is basically just his concept, his unedited, unrefined ideas, what he calls his first pass at QRanger. It's basically a draft, a concept idea, just something that Jason came up with one day. But as we established, Jason in his time with the brand has helped make this Japanese show for a worldwide audience everywhere, kids and adults alike. So, if there was anybody that would know how to adapt and make a Power Ranger series, it would be Jason. And with that, I would like to introduce to everybody Power Rangers Supernova. Missed opportunity, essentially, of an adaptation of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. Now, this is actually a pretty creative story that Jason has came up with. Let me tell you about it. The big bad in this story would be the Monster Syndicate, which their role would be to steal energy from the cores of living worlds to revive their emperor. There's only one way to stop them: a bunch of teenagers from a random city in America. The Power Rangers. But this is different this time, trust me. As this series would get a team of misfit people from across the space and the world and the universe. This series would have focused on adventure, exploration, experimentation, diversity, and of course, school. Yes, school, but not high school, like we've seen in the past with stuff like Megaforce and Ninja Steel. This school would be like an ROTC format, which to be honest, I don't really know what that is. Isn't that like a police thing? I don't know. But essentially it would be a Ranger Academy to train the next team of Rangers. It would have a tone similar to shows of that of In Space and Time Force. As we know, those are two fan favorite series, so if there was a show like that, people would be excited. This story would be set in the future, different from the regular mold of a Power Ranger series. It of course would be set in the main timeline, but it's not how we would remember it, as things are really, really bad, and there are next to no Rangers left in this world. We would start off the story with a cloaked figure who goes into a bunker and retrieves a set of Nova Stones, and Nova Stones are basically the American version of Q-Tamas, which are the main gimmick of QRanger. We would also get introduced to Alpha 9. If you don't know who Alpha is, Alpha was the little robot dude that would go like, ay, 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 ay. Crazy. So this would be a new model of Alpha, and Alpha 9, and seems like a pretty good idea to bring old fans something they remember, because Alpha was such an iconic character. His Lightning Collection figure is weird, but that's whatever. Alpha 9 would have been cool. So we would get introduced to Alpha 9, who lives with this Ranger Stranger on his ship. But the good times didn't last long, as we get introduced to our big bad, who is Zodiac, who is a black and purple monster version of QRanger Shishi Red Orion. As we know, Shishi Red Orion, I'm guessing, is the good guy, Red Ranger power up, but now he's gonna be purple and black and evil and monster-like. In my idea, it would be kind of like the monster version of the End, probably something like that. Zodiac would be as powerful as a Ranger himself, or maybe even more than that. Zodiac would attack the Stranger, nearly destroying him, but he escapes with Alpha 9 by activating a Time Nova Stone, and a bright light emerges, pushing back the Zodiac, with our Stranger turning into a Firebird-shaped energy blast. And then we cut to modern day as we meet our new team of Rangers. And Power Rangers Supernova would then consist of 40 plus 4 clip show episodes, as Jason jokes, with stories full of deep characters with origins from across the universe, along with first-time original, never-before-seen characters. And like QRanger, this show would focus on the cast, as the cast would be the one to push the overall story, drama, problems, plot, all of it. These 12 characters are the heart and soul of the show. A show would be filled with Rangers teaming up as much as the villains. It's really all about team up. In that case, you can compare it to Overdrive, how those villains team up. But in the case of the Rangers, it would be just 12 misfits trying to get along, trying to save the world together, which, to be honest, that sounds really cool. The idea of QRanger being a Power Rangers series has always been interesting, but how Jason put it, it really would have made me want a QRanger adaptation more than probably a Go Busters adaptation or Ryusoulger. But let's move on to the Rangers. Our Rangers would be a mix of aliens, humans, human-esque figures, the whole 9 yards. Supernova Red would be a human-esque Zebrian person. He also might become the Zodiac. Now, this isn't the first time as we saw a Zebrian. I'm still bad at pronunciations. Prime examples are Trip, the Time Force Green Ranger, and of course the Supersonic Rangers, which I made a whole video about, so go check that out. The Blue Ranger would be mostly the same as his QRanger form, a wolf man thing. They would probably make him look better, to be honest, make him kind of look like a Kruger instead of that blue thing, which was like a puppet. I don't know how Sentai does that. Very weird. The Yellow Ranger would be a writer and a poet. He would also be a Quishin. Of course, you may know these from the planet Aquitar, the humanoid aliens. These are the same species that were also the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, and that is so cool. I would love for Alien Rangers to return at some point, and this might have been a good opportunity, having a Quishin Ranger on the team. The Gold Ranger would be a nerdy, good thief. The Black Ranger would be from the Machine Empire. You know, last time I saw the Machine Empire was in Wild Force, how they're getting their revenge. But this would be cool to show some redemption in some villains. And having someone from the Machine Empire would be really cool. The Green Ranger would be a new alien species, chameleon inspired, because, you know, chameleons and whatnot. And we actually saw that Green Ranger in like a Power Rangers comic thing. Does anybody remember that? Just me? Okay. Now, what's most interesting is about the Silver and Pink Rangers, because these are people that we've seen before. The Silver Ranger would be from Earth, and it would actually be Blaze from Beast Morphers, finding his true self post-Evox control. And the Pink Ranger would be Roxy from Beast Morphers. Now, this is really cool redemption arcs for these characters after seeing them be all evil and whatnot in Beast Morphers, and even not getting much attention in Season 2 of Beast Morphers. It would have been really cool to see him in these new roles. The Orange Ranger would be a Scorpion Man, a brand new species, and it would also be our first ever Orange Ranger in history. I also made a video about Orange Rangers. Go check it out. I'm always plugging myself. The Purple Ranger will be Alpha's oldest ally, who is also searching for the Nova Stones. He is basically the headmaster of the team, kind of like a combination of both Kruger and RJ. So really strict and really cool, a mix of that. The Sky Blue Ranger would actually be Alpha 9, which would make sense, as in the QRanger, it was played by a kid. And Alpha is called kind of always like a kid, essentially. He would basically find a backup Nova Stone inside that lightning chest in his piece thing. Is like, oh, I'm a Power Ranger now, I guess. That's how Alpha talks. And then we would have the Phoenix Knight, who is an original character, or maybe even possibly Adam from Mighty Morphin. You know, we saw Adam a lot. He returned a lot, especially in Space and Operation Overdrive. So to see him come back as his brand new character, it would be really interesting. Basically, it was a being that would regenerate himself, that is essentially immortal. The Supernova Rangers would find him, but he wouldn't really get along with the Rangers, as they're all misfits and not really the essential idea of who would be a Ranger. He's also unsure if he saved the future or put it in motion, as the Red Ranger looks a little bit too much like this future Zodiac guy. If you want to know more about this potential adaptation of QRanger Power Rangers Supernova, I recommend you go checking out the episode of Let's Talk Toku to see Jason talk about adapting Super Sentai to become Power Rangers for an American audience. And in that episode, you can also see Squall's idea for his possible QRanger adaptation. Other than that, that's it for me today. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Don Fuego, and Instagram, NotDonFuego. What is your ideal QRanger adaptation? Leave that in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out my recent video with Julio Coolio, where we talked about the possible future of Power Rangers. That's it for today. I'm Este. Have a great day, and of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.